I really like to go to Crunchies.
Oh,
you
Crunchies
get a
is
burger,
my favorite.
a bucket of beer. You look back at that and you think, how disgusting. But it was disgusting delicious.
So it's literally a mop bucket that they pour beer into, and you just take a picture and you
dip it in.
Oh, and I think
with your hands?
No, with the picture. I know you think Midwesterners are a little uncouth, but come on now. We're not like,
we're practical.
I'm all like, you want to save $1 or two. Today, we are taking a moment to basically give your state some love.
Yes.
I guess it's a part of what we have to do since we share a show together.
First of all, don't make it sound like it's such a hardship. What is not to love about the state of Michigan?
I will tell you, actually nothing. You Midwestern folks are really kind. Like, I really want to be mean and be nasty because that's how I give you a hard time and that's the way I show my love. But everybody is just a really good soul.
You're just too nice for that, Cari.
You guys are.
I know.
You really
it's
are.
Annoying,
it's annoying. I'm like... Get mad. No kidding.
Yes.
But so we have the governor of the lovely state of Michigan here on the pod. And I think you guys feel like y'all best friends. We just did the interview. You feel like y'all's besties.
Yeah, that's my girl.
That's your girl?
That's my girl. It helps to have friends in high places sometimes.
Y'all kick it?
But no, I mean, I've had an opportunity to interview her a few times. And probably the last time we were in the same physical space was... they had a NAACP Freedom Dinner, which is a very big deal in Detroit. Shout out to my man, Reverend Wendell Anthony, who's been a huge civil rights leader and activist in the city of Detroit for a long time. So they held this annual dinner. Joe Biden was actually the speaker.
And I remember that.
Yeah, so they had everybody there. And I don't know if it was by design, but me and Governor Whitmer sat next to each other. When I tell you we was a kikiing up in there.
What was y'all kikiing about? Who y'all talking about?
We don't need to know about all that.
You talking about Joe?
You don't need to know about that.
Like
we were not talking about Joe. Mm-hmm. I was talking about Joe because I'm not going to lie. When I saw him there.
You told the story about the photo op.
Like, one, I didn't want to do a photo op with him. I'm like, I'm good. The other thing was he was so frail.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his speech was fire, though. Like, his speech was fire. But seeing him get up, it was like maybe
was uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable. Yeah. And so this is obviously before he announced he was stepping out. I was like, is this how he looks every day?
I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say that. I heard that it was like a big thing. But you noticed something?
That now that he ain't in office and got them stress in his life.
He looked good.
That man is out there.
I saw him do a backflip the other day.
I'm telling you.
He was jogging down the highway. I was like, what?
I mean.
He might have twerked. It was a lot going on. I was like, Joe.
Yes. Joe all of a sudden got new life.
Hi.
I was like, that office was dragging him down.
Well, we said that about Obama. He went in office just all young and fresh face.
Hair all black.
He carries silver. I was like, whoa.
Right. And now he looked like he on the cover of GQ. He just out in the streets.
He back good again.
He back good. I was like,
to say the obvious and state the obvious, it is extremely stressful to be in public office. And what I think I really loved about this interview is that, one, she looked good.
Yes.
I know she's rounding the corner of her 8 months in office, but Governor Whitmer looked really great, and she looked like Whitmer looked really great, and she also feels light to me. Like she's ready. She's got fight in her, which is hard because I didn't know what we were going to get after we read that article about it
was a piece in the Atlantic about saying that she sort of wasn't the same big
person.
Gretch.
Yeah.
The same.
More like little Gretch, and she's kind of fighting that, and she likes it. I honestly, the way that what I took away from that article, great article in the Atlantic, you should read it. I took away from that she went through something extremely traumatizing, and it affected how she interacted in her day to day. And I don't think people are even understanding. I think if there was a different administration in office, we would really understand what happened to her. But to have an entire plot to blow up a bridge, to kidnap her, and ultimately probably take her life.
Yep.
To know that you were able to foil such a plot, and then you still have to go around and do your job, which is public service, which is meeting with people. I don't care how much security you get. I'm assuming that would change your entire disposition and how you move in life.
And people have to understand the sacrifice of that, because not only do you have to live with that fear and that terror that you're talking about, is that now, and we discussed this with her. It's like when she went to the Oval Office and that picture went viral of her being in the office with Trump, and she's got a folder in front of her face like she doesn't want to be there, but she went there in the spirit of collaboration. Now imagine going there, and by the way, she was able to get some gains for Michigan. Can you imagine going into that office with that particular person who called her that woman from Michigan completely disrespected her. And then on top of that, after they have this meeting in the Oval Office in which people were criticizing her, saying like, oh, how dare you, even though it's like he's the president. She's in a state where they need his help. Like, it's just what it is. And for that same president to consider pardoning some of the folks that plotted to kill her is crazy.
It's disgusting. It's like you hanging out with the person who tried to murder me, or you hanging out with the girl who took my man. I'd be like, what are we doing? We ain't good.
What are we doing?
Why is that okay?
It's so true. It's
she's
wild.
dealing with that in a way. I will look. It's to me without fail, and I it's funny. I'm going to take a page out of Tony Baker, the comedian. I'll take a page out of his book. He went on the internet, I guess, last night and made this video, and he was like, and he did just a little clip of sass showing Stephen A. saying the thing with women, and then he cuts the clip off and he goes, I just need everybody to shut the hell up. He was like, for the next 24 hours, I need everybody to shut the hell up.
We on pause.
I don't want to hear about no man hating a woman and no woman hating a can. Everybody just shut the hell up. And so I say that because I'm not about to shut the hell up, but I say that thinking about what she's been through and how it wasn't, to me, covered in a way that really, really illustrated the urgency of what is happening right now when people are actually out to attack our leaders. And I felt like as a woman, she had to suck it up. You know what I mean? And she didn't have to deal with it. The way in which, if anything, she even pointed this out, Brett Kavanaugh, somebody had on his front lawn, end of the world.
And they treated that like it was, and I was saying that shouldn't have been treated seriously.
But it all should be treated with the same level.
It was the different levels
of seriousness and the gravity of which it deserves. And you're saying that. And I think that she didn't get that. But you know more about her than I do. And I think she just seems to be lovely.
She is quite lovely. But real quick, before we get to her interview, you mentioned lovely because you are the fashionista of this pod. Cari, I am
lovely. Go ahead. Tell me more.
Yes, you are lovely. You know, I have to shallot you every now and again.
Shallot me every now and again. Okay.
But since you are the fashionista and you are always dressed to impress, I need to ask you, what were your thoughts on the Met Gala and what did you like? What did you not like? We saw a lot of athletes there.
Why Jemele set me up like I'm an interview?
No, I mean, seriously, you know I don't know shit about this, right? So I didn't even know when it was. And you were like, it's today. I was like, oh, my bad.
You're like, what do they do there?
You're like, no idea, but Angel Reese was there, Paige Beckers, Asia Wilson.
The theme was fashion art.
The theme was fashion art. Okay.
Costume art, fashion art, like you were wearing art.
Right.
And the highlight for me was Rihanna. So if y'all ain't checked out my boo Rihanna's interview that she gave to Essence.
Wait, was the highlight her outfit or the interview?
The interview. That's all I cared about.
It's amazing.
Because if I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really, but by the way, as I sit in my house with my straight backs on, and my robe, my $20 robe, and I said, blowing my nose and scratching my ears, talking about, I wouldn't wear that. You ain't, would you, Cari, really? Would you not wear that? Because you wasn't invited. I'm sitting here scratching my butt. I don't
like me talking about, I wouldn't date Meg Thee Stallion. You ain't even in the conversation.
You're not even in the conversation, buddy. You have not. They ate up so many people who were saying that wouldn't be me. It would never be you.
It will never be you.
We know that, sir.
And if it could be you,
it still wouldn't be you.
Man, you would be sporting that woman like.
And it would never be you.
It will never be you. So don't worry about it. But yes.
But that's how I felt. I felt like that person with so much to say about everyone's
outfits.
There
with the rollers in your hair, with the bonnet on, like she don't look right.
A dogger mouth. Nope. I don't like that. I wouldn't do that with my peak robe, my peak satin robe with orange juice stains on it. Nope. No, I'm kidding. I thought that the outfits, honestly, though, were just okay. Beyonce obviously stunned. Right. And I thought it was a really beautiful moment to see Beyonce and Blue and Jay together as a family, like the first royal family of the Met, if you will. What I noticed that I thought was really sweet, these are the things that I was paying attention to. Outside of how glamorous she looked, I noticed how she couldn't really relax because she kept looking back to see if Blue was okay. Because
she wanted to make sure she was all right.
Yeah, she kept looking to see if Blue was okay. And she's like, is she? You guys got her? Get her together. Get her shirt. Get her. It was just really cute. And I thought that was really such a loving motherly thing. And every time someone interviewed her, because she keyed with the reporters, she never do, but she was talking about her daughter. And I thought that was just a very special moment. And I watched Blue Ivy. We've all watched her grow up, right?
It's stunning.
But to watch her under the bright lights, that has to be so nerve-wracking for someone of her age. And this was like her first Met Gala, her first walk, if you will. And I could see her, like, her insecurity, but still like, I want to make my mom proud. I want to be. You could feel all the different emotions, and it was just that was a lovely moment. I didn't love. The other outfit that I loved, other dress rather, that I loved was Zoe Kravitz. She was a part of the Welcome Committee.
Yeah,
she had on, I think it was Saint Laurent. I'm not for sure.
I think you're correct.
I don't remember because I know that they sponsor her, but she looked amazing. I thought she looked great. I really enjoyed her costume art. Rihanna was my favorite interview. Let me give you they asked Rihanna what she was wearing, y'all. I need y'all to go find this interview.
Because Rihanna was fooling.
When I tell you,
she's my fave, man. I love
she
her.
is my absolute fave. Her and A$AP Rocky, it was like mom and dad are out the house. It was
out the house.
When I say Rihanna had a good time with a GOODT,
I suspect it might have been something,
an
enhancement involved.
She literally, they were like, "What are you wearing?" She was like, well, I feel like an oyster. I'm like, I'm coming out. It's an oyster. It's like, and they were like, "Is that art?" She's like, "Yeah." And is it like song? She's like, "It's an album. It's an album."
She's like, if you're coming out, what would be your song? She's like, it wouldn't be a song. It'd be a whole album.
It'd be a whole album. She's like, because it's jewelry. And then she stopped and asked the girl, the reporter, I think her name is Kayla Walker. If I'm saying your name incorrectly, I apologize. But she goes, "You laughing at me? I see you laughing." Like, I was just like, yo. And then the other girl turns. Then Rihanna turns because A$AP's right behind her. She's like, look at that girl. Look at that girl. So I guess some girl was excited. It was just so cute. They were just having fun. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Give me what she's having.
Did you see when
I'll take two.
See when I think one of the interviewers was like, A$AP, what is it like to be loved by a black woman? And he just stopped and he was
sobered up.
Just real fast.
Sobered
got
up
his
real
whole
quick.
face together and he was like, "It's the most amazing thing." Like, he was just so serious about it. I was like, yo, A$AP.
They have fun together.
You can tell.
They have a good time.
You could tell that they have a good time together. Rihanna, by far, if there was she would be number one on my list of celebrities I would most want to hang out with. Number one.
I would, and I've hung out with her before. Speaking of.
Have you?
No. Well, I would want to hang out with Rihanna too. But in terms of people that I would want to hang out, same. When I was like Asia Wilson, I've hung out with her casually. She'd be a good time.
Oh, I definitely feel like Asia would be a good time.
I watched a little bit of that show called Played. Have you watched that? That's that Anthony Davis has a
his prank show. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
And I did I just happened to get just what happens when you get on YouTube. And one of the Playeds is called You've Been Played or whatever, Played. Bam pranked Asia, and it was so cute because she handled it so well. And the prank was that they signed these autographs and while they were getting ready to go practice in the gym. And as soon as they walked in, they signed these autographs. And then she went to go sit down, wait for a trainer, and Bam went in the back to prank her. And the little girl comes out who works there at the gym with her dad and was like, I just want to tell you this because you seem to really be a good person, but my dad is stealing your autographs and he sells them on the internet for hundreds of dollars and I don't want to be here anymore. Can you help me get out of this situation? And she was like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to help you with that. Okay, sweetie? And she proceeded to try to help her. And she like tries to pull Bam away because Bam walks. She's like, we got to get out of here because some really funny things are going on. Dad walks in and was like, why would you do that? The dad started yelling at the little girl. And Asia was like, I can't. Like, she was ready to save and rescue this little girl. And then, of course, Bam comes out and he's like, I'm just kidding. And she was furious. But she was like, oh, you got me good. And then it was just really funny. And I love because you get to see their real personality. And she's a good soul. Like, you could see her spirit. Like, she wanted to save this little girl from this unfortunate situation she was in. And I was like, these are the people I want to kick it with. Because you could tell she's going to be a good time and she got a good soul, good spirit. And that's how you feel about Reed. That's how I feel about Reed.
I feel like with Rihanna, we're going to wind up in Vegas. We're going to wind up in a ditch. We don't want to
she's a mother. She can't wind up in a ditch now.
She still got a little.
She had babies to look after.
She got a little steam left in her. I feel like she got a little steam left in her.
She's not that crazy no more. She got babies.
I feel like we're gonna be at the club dancing on the bar. Like I feel like it's going down.
Spoken like
if
this
I make
woman.
what I'm just saying, like, because
Detroiter.
It's always like the parents that because she's mothering most of the time. She much like you saw at the Met Gala, she get a little taste of freedom. She like, we doing this. Go back to Barbados, be up in there like.
Venus looked good.
Venus looked real good.
I liked Venus's outfit. I thought that Serena looked nice. It was the thing with this is that they want you to take risk. And so I don't know how risque I am. So that's the one thing. I can't give you an idea of what that was supposed to look like. I was just like, okay, she's taking some risks. It's like this silver gladiator art outfit. And then they were showing you later on, like Cardi had on a piece that was like a statue that was really well known at the Met. Everyone's outfit was influenced by something or someone. Right. But I did notice who wasn't there.
Ooh.
Because a lot of people felt a way about, you know, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez owning it now, or, you know, being the sponsors, if you will, of it.
Yeah, there were a lot of protests outside.
There were a lot of protests outside. But I took notice of those who weren't there, and I wonder if it was a statement or if it was intentional. You know what I mean? Or if it was...
Well, Taraji P. Henson went off about it.
I saw that.
Yeah, that she said she couldn't believe that all these celebrities are lined up given... you know, what Bezos has done, like politically, really. And so that was, it brought an interesting, like an interesting tension to the Met Gala that's not usually there. Like, I guess to update people, because when we were doing the pod Monday and I showed you that call I got, it was from TMZ. And it said on my phone.
They found the pictures, guys. They got them.
It said Harvey Levin on my phone. I was like, I don't even know him. I was like, oh God, what's going on? Thinking about, like, did I do something in 9th grade? Or perhaps a little later.
Y'all, you hear her? Her stomach dropped to her butt, and she talked about, did I do something in 9th grade? She knows goddamn well. It was in recent times, but she's sitting up here trying to act all innocent per usual. Was it in 9th grade?
Was it maybe in like 12th?
No,
perhaps
no.
First year of college.
Was it at ESPN?
Yeah, was it like where was it? So, but it was about the Met Gala. That's what they wanted me to talk about the tension with the protests, about what Taraji said. I saw Robin Givhan, who Robin Givhan is for a long time. I think she is. I don't know if she's still at the Washington Post, but she's a very revered fashion editor, fashion critic. She won a Pulitzer, a Black woman. We work for the same newspaper in Detroit. She's working at the Detroit Free Press. And so she was on our girl Laura Coates' show talking about this interesting tension where you have, at a time in our country where we see what these gas prices look like. This economy it sucks for a lot of people. And ta-da, here's the Met Gala flaunting all its wealth and ostentatiousness, and is this a good look, particularly because of how people feel about Jeff Bezos?
Or is it, look, I can go on the other side, and I'm not saying I'm on any, I kind of am in the middle on this because I see why you still want to have it, but is it a time for us to find joy and laughter and do something and escape?
It's fine.
Because it's like every day is something.
We ain't gonna solve all these problems in one night.
We definitely not.
No.
You can't. You know what? You can't kill an elephant just as itself. You got to take a little bit of bite. I made that up. Something. You know, some kind of.
I'm gonna try to pick up what you put down. But go ahead. Sure, Cari.
Yeah, something about an elephant and chewing, and you take it bite and bite.
Chewing ginger snaps. Is that the elephant?
Something about that. No, but I appreciated that because it's a nice escape. I understand why people went. Look, if I'm Asia's a co-chair. I forgot that Asia Wilson was a co-chair.
Oh, she was a co-chair. Okay. I love the blonde short.
You loved her ensemble. She loved her ensemble. She looked like a gold statue. She looked really good. Did. Bronze, gold, whatever the look was. But I'm not going to, as an athlete, especially as someone in the WNBA, we are just now on this ride, this wave of people knowing us by our names and our jersey numbers. I understand why they want to participate in something like that. This is a bucket list event that people love to go to.
Correct.
It's something you can tell your grandkids, kids. People spend most of their lives trying to go there. And so I don't fault any of these athletes or any of these celebrities for going to these events. I think those who didn't go have a really good reason, and this is their ethos, and this is who they are, and I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, the season about to start. Let me get some fun in. Angel was there.
Right.
The season about to start. You don't know when they're gonna
have fun again.
We got Met Gala Monday. We got opening season Friday. Paige looked great.
Paige did look good.
She did actually. I didn't even recognize her.
You didn't?
I didn't even recognize her because I'll tell you why I'm shaking my finger like this, like an old auntie.
Yeah.
I like that she stood in her lane, which is I'm wearing a suit because you know that she loves suits, but her beat, her makeup.
Her beat was.
I was like, I don't know if I
to the gods, as they say.
Yes, I was like she was giving me very much young Nicole Kidman, but not. You know what I mean?
Top 5 white woman.
Yeah, sure, she was.
Because I saw my top 5 white women.
She was. She just looked very glamorous. I was like, oh, I see a movie career. I see a movie career. I see a movie star career. Like I see, because we aren't doing that yet. Angel's the only person who's kind of tapped into that. But you remember back in the day when the NBA rookies would pop in, especially if you came to LA. Shaq was a movie star. He was a rapper. Like he was one of a few of these athletes that had that personality that transcended, and it worked really well. He had Shazam. He had all those movies. LeBron
Blue
did
Chips.
Yeah, Blue Chips. LeBron did a few movies for a quick
he did
second.
Trainwreck. He did.
He wasn't bad, but I was like, oh, I see. This is the next iteration of what is happening for these ladies of the W. Like I can see that happening with it's a little bit with Angel. She was in that movie and that Netflix movie about the world ending.
Oh, was she?
With Idris Elba. Remember? And he went to. You don't remember? It was called.
Hold on,
y'all, help me out. Let me go to my Instagram. You have to watch it. We talked about that on Laura Coach.
Did I see it? It's like be a real grandma. I was like, did I?
You saw it.
Did I? Okay, I probably did, and I'm trying to think of when.
Let me look. I'm Angel Reesing it right now. But anyway, I think that's the next generation for these athletes, and you're going to really appreciate it.
Oh, A House of Dynamite. That's
A House of Dynamite.
Oh, you know what? I didn't watch that.
Oh, you didn't watch? Oh,
I didn't.
You gotta watch that.
I'm tripping.
You gotta watch. You didn't see that?
I didn't see it.
It literally is like someone from the White House wrote it. It's like someone who was in the war room wrote it. It's like someone from Pentagon was like, here, let me let you know what happens.
Does it feel like a documentary?
It's too honest. And it basically tells you that if in fact, the long and short of it, if in fact, I'm about to spoiler alert if you ain't seen it, the movie is literally about what happens if someone fired a nuclear missile. Could we actually, with our receptors, receive it and take it out? And they said that our capabilities are not 100%. In fact, they're not even 50%. They like 30%. I'm like, well, what we doing? If we could put a man on the moon, we just raw dog chilling. I was just like, what we doing?
We just raw dogging life right now.
So you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Okay, now, okay, I will put that on the list of things to watch. But let's see the progress of this. Think about this. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, were WNBA players getting invited to the Met Gala?
No.
Exactly. And now we're in this age where it's like, they're not only fashionable and big brands.
It's in vogue.
To have them a part of a scene like this. Yes. And so to me, that was the overwhelming win.
The biggest takeaway. Yeah. And I think I'm surprised because they do this. Like they have influencers that are used as reporters. That kind of bothers me a little bit.
Yeah.
But because that's encroaching on our territory. But
well, not only that, girl, did you see that one clip about Angela Bassett? Oh, you got to see it. And everybody else who hasn't seen it. Angela Bassett, who looks stunning, of course. She must have been at a hotel or something. I don't know where she was, but, in prep for the Met Gala, taking her pictures there on the staircase. And an influencer, you can overhear them on whose ever video that shot it. Who is that? And somebody was like, Angela Bassett. Is she famous? That's why people don't like influencers. And that's not all influencers. But that's why that's that conversation. He didn't even know who she was.
Yeah, well, Google before you say that out loud.
Yeah, and he said it out loud.
Well, that influencer, I believe, Nikki, the fashion influencer, got in trouble for
drug him from front to back to sideways, and he should have been.
And he should have been, because he was like, oh, I didn't mean to call her that. Yes,
you did. Comfortable, dog.
Yes, you did, though. Yes, you did. You meant to do it. You meant to do it. You just didn't have any respect for her.
And I can't say I loved his apology.
No.
Because he was like, I was just, well, you guys can see it. I don't want to regurgitate it, but
Nikki Bell, I think is his name.
Yeah,
anyway.
Anywho,
so
Met Gala, glad I got your
that
take
was
on
my
it.
review. My biggest takeaway is that we are in a special place and a very good place for women's sports. The more and I saw there were other athletes there outside of WNBA players. Obviously, Venus and Serena have long been a part of it because Anna Wintour loves tennis. But it was a beautiful space to see these ladies. Naomi Osaka was there. She looked actually amazing.
She looked amazing.
She
brought that. She, as the kids say, she had that shit on.
Is that what the kids say?
That's what the kids
say. And you're going to look at the camera and say,
she had that shit on.
You sound like I do. You want some ginger snaps?
Yeah, give me some ginger snaps and some Werthers. Some peppermints. You got some peppermints? I
can't believe Big Gretch heard you say that. I was like, were they listening in?
Because you talking about
because you was like, how old are you? I was like, you like 62? Like
ginger snaps. Look, just because they gummies don't make you hip. All right,
gummies. They were gummy candies.
Gummy candies. Let me explain that. Gummy candy ginger snaps.
Yeah.
But the fact that you are of your age walking around with ginger snaps in your purse, like, like you Sister McCall at 1 Corinthians.
I got on the slip too.
You got on the slip.
And I got a prayer cloth for my knees. You got a prayer
cloth for your knees. All right. Well, we pray everyone loves this interview coming up. Up next here on Flagrant and Funny, our conversation with Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Governor, I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Flagrant and Funny. And finally, I get an ally because I have to put up with this UCLA shit all the time.
Oh, Lord.
And now I have a fellow Michigan State grad.
First of all, you're showing off in front of company.
Of course I am. It's the governor of my state. Yes, I'm going to show off in front of company. That's the way it works. So
we Spartans stick together.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You should. Well, fact she knows, I actually applied to MSU and I got in, but my mother told me it was too far, so I had to stay home in the state of California. But I really wanted to go to Michigan State because I'm a diehard Laker fan, and of course Magic Johnson.
Right.
So yeah, there you go.
So we have that connectivity, obviously, of having that.
We would have known each other eventually.
Yes.
Eventually.
It was a good idea.
It was a good idea. I know. Oh my goodness.
It's probably
it's a good idea. We didn't have phones when I was in college. You know, I think about things that were good that didn't happen back in those days.
Tell us more.
Well, you know.
We're here for that.
All these people are recording everything they do, every mistake they make.
I know.
Whew, I would not be governor if we had phones then.
I wasn't on social media really in college, and I'm grateful for that because no telling what I would have reported on myself. You know, like recording everything and reporting on yourself. You're just like, I was doing this today.
Right.
So what was your favorite bar in East Lansing, Governor?
You know, I mean, it was so funny. I had an easier time getting into bars my freshman year because I had a really good fake ID. And then it got taken away from me.
What? They caught you?
And
okay.
Yes. So I didn't get to bars my sophomore year. It was kind of this weird experience. But no, you know what? I really like to go to Crunchies. You know, you get a burger,
my favorite.
A bucket of beer. You look back at that and you think, how disgusting. But it was disgusting delicious.
So it's literally a mop bucket that they pour beer into, and you just take a picture and you
dip it in.
Oh, and I think
with your hands.
No, with the picture. I know you think Midwesterners are a little uncouth, but come on now. We're not like
we're practical.
I'm all like, you want to save $1 or two? Go ahead.
No, you take the picture, you dip it in the bucket, take it out, and then for everybody,
you can still get a bucket of beer. I just feel like after living through COVID, I'm a little more squeamish about
They actually Crunchies. They actually sent me my own bucket.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that was painted green and white. It was like amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you did this, but you know what you're supposed to do when you finish the bucket, right?
What?
You're supposed to put it on your head.
Oh, I never did that. By the time the bucket was done, I was too.
Right. Well, why do you think people put it on their head? It's because they're done.
Oh my God, I really love you. You're just like, you know what you're supposed to do, right? You're like, no.
I know, I didn't. I didn't know.
Of course. We have a story. Jemele always says this, and you tell me if this is true. She goes, Michigan State raised me, and it's where I learned how to drink. Is that a thing? Is that really like in terms of, because that's what you do?
Because we were known as the party school. Are known as the party school. Right.
No, Michigan State, I learned so much at Michigan State. That's what is one of the lessons.
Well, and then you also were a journalism major.
You know what? I thought I was going to be a sports broadcaster. Jemele, there were no women on sports broadcasting when I was growing up, and I love sports. And
there was not one woman. Do you remember?
No,
locally?
I remember watching ESPN. I mean, I'm bit older than you ladies,
so
it was a different time.
We are all the same age, really.
It's like
we behave.
A bit seasoned ourselves.
No, but I am surprised, and I thought to myself, of course, that was going to be one of the first questions I asked. Do you ever have any? Like, of course you don't. Look at you. You're running an entire state. But do you ever have any regrets, or have you ever thought of what would life have been like if?
But I mean, I still love sports, but I found my calling. I was at state. My dad said, the Capitol's right down the street.
Mm-hmm.
So few people understand how state government works. Mm-hmm. Do an internship down there. I think he was getting tired of me taking, electives like ice skating.
Okay.
He was like, do an internship, see something, get a feel for it. And even if you never do it, it'll be a part of an education that'll help you no matter what you decide to do. And it just kind of changed everything for me. And it would not have happened if I wasn't at Michigan State with the Capitol right down the road and a dad who encouraged me.
So you fell in love right away.
I did. I fell in love with public policy, the ever-changing landscape of issues, the working with people. Like, that was, I found my calling. Now, I still love sports, and I love to, when we had the draft, it was so cool to be in downtown Detroit, and the Pistons are, come on, we got to win tonight.
Oh, so, did you watch that game when we came back?
I did not.
Oh my gosh, it would have taken years off your life.
I was working, but I was getting updates on my phone.
Yeah, you were taking updates. But how good is it, especially with all the revitalization downtown, to see the Pistons in this position and that adding to what is happening down there?
You don't appreciate what a sports team can do for a community until you start winning. We've had glory days for sure. The Tigers, the Pistons, the Wings, the Lions, but we've had a bit of a dry spell for a good chunk of time, and it also kind of coincided with some of the hard times in the city, and so the city on the rise, the revitalization that's happening in Detroit, coinciding with all these sports teams really showing out. It's been really exciting, and it changes the mood of the people.
Good or bad.
Good or bad. It does.
Right.
But they come together around sports.
Yeah.
Like they really do. I feel that way when the Lakers are really prominent and winning and back-to-back champions. You could feel some type of love in the city that you just don't feel normally. And even for instance, now you guys are getting a women's WNBA team.
Getting it back.
We're excited about that. Yeah. I think
is it going to be the Shock? Do you know? Can you pass an order? Can you pass an official order?
They've not proclaimed the name yet. So, and I'm going to say my lane on that one.
Okay. You're like I'm out of that one. Yeah. Well, it'll be good though, because the WNBA is amazing right now. It's at an all-time high. Do you watch any of the games? Are you a fan of any particular player?
Well, it's funny. My daughter she loves Paige Beckers.
Oh yeah.
So okay. But I got to meet Dawn Staley not long ago, and it's really awesome to see these strong female leaders, whether they are the athletes, the coaches, whether it's politicians. It's like encouraging, and it's fun. And I think women's sports are so much more fun. The women's hockey game at the Olympics was so exciting. And they move fast and so much more aggressive. Like, it just was really striking to see kind of the different way women compete. It's really cool.
Yeah, one thing that we talk about on this podcast in particular is sort of the double standards of, like, you mentioned women competing and about how that's viewed versus how it is when men compete. Like, women start cursing and getting emotional and suddenly everybody's clutching their pearls. The dudes can cuss each other out, do all kinds of things, and it's not a difference. It seems to be that same double standard in politics. And I'm wondering how you think that kind of double standard, like, what does that look like for you as you're out there?
You think? So I think, when I ran, I got all around Michigan. I said, what can I do that'll make your life better? And people told me, fix the damn roads, right? And so I never imagined I'd run on a phrase, fix the damn roads, but that's what it ended up being, because that's what people wanted. It's when you hit a pothole and you got to fix your car, it takes money out of your rent or your child care budget. It can be devastating for people. And so I ran on Fix the Damn Roads, and people were clutching their pearls, right? Like, oh my gosh, this where. Meanwhile, the guy in the White House is using,
all kind of words.
Talking, yes. And I'm like, the different standard was pretty striking. But, I do think that more women are feeling able to show up as they are. And I am, because women came before me, and I'm thinking about the women coming after me, about making sure that people can show up as they are, be who they are, because that's what people want. Reality,
Yeah, I always thought, you mentioned, by the way, since you mentioned the person in the White House, when you went to visit and all that was made about, you and the folder and the photograph, it was interesting how that was viewed versus when Mayor Mamdani went to visit Trump. And
Same exact thing.
You
guys had a war of words. He had a war of words, and then all of a sudden he's a genius, and
he's brilliant.
He's brilliant.
Yeah,
and I'm all like, but
and I'm a fool.
And you're like, wait, and you're like, and I wouldn't have said that, but our conversation about that this morning was like, it's just the double standard is really annoying. But what I appreciate what you just said was that women are starting to resist. We are starting to stand in our own power. It's fine as if you think that. How do you deal with that day in and day out? I need some wisdom. I need some advice, because I'm at gender war level. Like, I'm DEFCON 10 here. I want to fight all the men, and I shouldn't feel that way. But
well, I think after the last presidential election, I was so damn depressed. I worked my butt off to help Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. I stumped for the ticket. I did a ton of work, and we came up short everywhere.
Yeah.
It was really depressing. I had to turn off social media. I had to turn away from the news. I watched 8 seasons of Dexter. That's why I ordered myself out.
The old Dexter, right? Because I got the new
version.
She's like, it's time to murder. I'm going to do it for good. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Right. Oh, now Todd Blanche is going to investigate me. Thanks, Carrie.
Well, as long as you take that ID in the Applebee's, you're good.
But, and I realized pretty quickly, like, I got to tune in. I got to wear myself out in the work, right?
Yeah.
Someone said apathy is the antidote. No, action is the antidote to apathy. And I got to go to bed tired, or my mind, like it's the anxiety and the anger, it consumes me. So I just double down on the work. I know that everything that I do, the way that I show up matters. People pay attention. And so I've got to fight where I can. I've got to find common ground wherever I can. And I always got to remember my bosses are the 10 million people in Michigan, and I got to deliver for them every day.
Now that we've had, like you mentioned, the last election, you were a little depressed. I think all of us were. All of us were. We went into hibernation for a bit. But seeing that we've now had 2 women who were the nominee, who have both lost the election, as a woman who is in this political space, when you hear people say America is not ready for a woman president, how do you feel about that being the perception, but then it being backed up by reality?
Can I swear on this show?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay,
it's
horseshit. It's horseshit.
It is.
It wears me out when people say that. There are a lot of reasons that the elections turned out the way that they did. I am grateful for people like Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris who showed you can be tough and smart and, come so close to winning these races. But there were a lot of other factors that were playing into this. Institutional issues, right? Historic issues, biases that people have. We know this. And yet we saw last year Abigail Spanberger kick ass in Virginia. Same with Mikey Sherrill in New Jersey. In the same election that Trump won, we elected women, U.S. senators in a lot of the states that he carried. So it was not a gender issue. Okay. And I point that out because I think it's important that women stay angry and excited and motivated to jump in. And that's part of why, as I'm getting ready, these are my last 8 months as governor, but I'm training and recruiting people to run, people of all walks, but especially women, right? Women of color, white women, who are trans women. We want real representation in office. We're all better off when we have that.
Do you really think this country is ready for female leadership, as in a president, someone running this country that looks like all of us in this room right now, that have the same parts?
I do. I do. I really do. And I think that, looking at these governors' races, right now we're at a historic high of women governors, and they are kicking ass every single day in some of the most, important electoral states in the country. We see U.S. Senate candidates winning statewide. So, yes, there's always going to be challenging to be the first. But I do think that there's an appetite for our kind of leadership, because when we lead, we don't get caught up in a lot of the BS that men do. But all the scandals that are rocking the news right now.
Yeah, all that little ancillary stuff that doesn't matter. But I'm really actually encouraged to hear you say that, because if I'm honest with you, if I look across the landscape, every single time a woman runs against this president, she loses, and it makes me think, and maybe it's just short-sighted. I need a bigger lens, but I'm feeling as if this country just isn't ready.
Yeah, it's hard not to feel the doubt when you see that, and especially with the difference in qualifications. That sends a signal.
It's striking.
Yeah, it does. I'm wondering, especially you being pinpointed as somebody that people are going to be looking at for 2028. Does that, as you weigh your decision, how much do you even think about that?
I don't think a candidate can think about that, to be honest. Like, you've got to want it more than anything else, and everyone in your family's got to want it more than anything else as well. It is all consuming, and it changes the rest of all of your lives. So, it's an enormous decision to make, and I think probably there are lots of factors that play into it, but that is got to be the core of it. Just like running for governor, the whole family had to be bought in and know that I wasn't going to be around very much, because I was going to be working my butt off to get the job. And then once I got the job, I'm not going to be around very much, because it is all consuming. And I think it's a huge sacrifice. People that run for office make a lot of sacrifices, and so do all their families. And so I think that's the primary consideration.
Said something. I think you just said something. You talk about your family and how it's hard. And it feels like you have it together. Look good, look great, walking around, everything like women can do it. You look like you can do it. But I am really, really curious, just as a woman and all the things that you have had to endure during your time in office, how are you feeling? You've been through a lot, especially with knowing that there was an attempt on your life and you had to go back to work and you had to continue on and you had to still lead your state, still be a mother, still be a wife. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling optimistic. I feel safe. I've got the Michigan State Police are in charge of my security. I've never felt like I was really vulnerable because I do have them. But I do worry about my family. I worry about everyone, my staff, everyone around me. Because if there was someone who wanted to do harm, there's so many people that could get hurt in the process. And so that's what I'm thinking about. I also, we talked about the difference in coverage when I went to the Oval Office.
Yeah.
When the plot to, kidnap and assassinate me happened, it was covered as a kidnapping plot, even though it was like a dozen men who planned for months did, they were
going to blow up a bridge.
Yes, they had full plans. Yeah. And then you had one guy show up on Brett Kavanaugh's lawn, and it was covered as an assassination attempt. Do you know what I mean? And so it was like,
I see.
I feel these, these differences, and I point them out because we got to be sensitive to that. We got to recognize that that's a challenge for us. I also worry we got to pull women into this moment and not repel them. And a reasonable person might look at the state of affairs right now and say, I don't want any part of that. Yeah. And that's why the recruiting and encouragement is so important.
That's a good point.
Well, when you think about everything that you've done and been able to accomplish and overcome, as Cari mentioned, you got 8 months to go. What for you will be key in terms of not just leaving, I know it's not just about your personal legacy, but what do you want Michiganders to remember about you?
That I always put them first, whether it was in a pandemic where I had to make really hard decisions and that I, got threatened for doing that.
That made you very unpopular.
Or it was showing up to try to get recapitalization over at our Air Force Base. All of these things are, I took an oath of office to put the people of Michigan first, and it means putting them first before my own interests, before partisanship concerns. And I feel like that's what I've always done. I think the people get that. They rewarded me by reelecting me by double digits after, after COVID. And so I think people get that, but I think that's the most important thing to me. Service is what the job is all about. It's not about self-service. It's about serving the people.
And so you're running for president, right?
It's good to be with you. Go Green!
See, I should cut that off. Go Green!
Yay! I was like, Jemele's gonna ask. I know she is. I knew she was gonna lean into it.
How could I not? Well, I would be abdicating my journalistic duty.
Yes, Whitmer Izzo, 2028.
That would be good. That would be good.
I mean, we'd get the vote in Michigan. I don't know about anyone else.
I don't know about everybody else.
We might not even get Ann Arbor.
For sure, they'd be out.
They'd be like, no, we don't like this at all.
We don't want any of that.
Well, should we ask her some other important questions?
We should.
Or do you want to stay in the policy lane?
No.
We only have a few more minutes, right? I think we have like 2 more minutes.
Because we have pressing questions about your love life, Cari, that we need to
on the show.
And you looked at me when you said, I'm like,
not about your life. Boring. No, not about you, Governor.
Well, I said we have to make sure we bring her in on it because I feel like she's a wise woman and she can offer some really good advice. Jemele gives me the worst advice. She gives me, she told me to date this guy. She was like, I like this one guy. Turns out he was married. I was like, okay, so Jay, that's not going to work.
I did not know.
She didn't know. I was like, so that's going to be a no. I was like, I'd like someone to be single. So I have found myself in this space as I am single this season in my life of dating younger men. What are your
Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Yes. That was the question.
You look at the actuarial tables, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
I'm doing it wrong. I married 2 men. One was 14 years older. The other's 11 years older. So
you went the opposite direction.
That might be my next plan. I don't know.
Her husband's younger than her, and she's trying to. I'm all like,
5 years younger.
Get on board, Jemele.
I'm on board.
She told me I'm wise.
You are wise. So we were thinking for Cari that we would have like a Cari champion field day where they would have to compete physically.
Oh, can I be a judge?
Yes, you can absolutely.
Okay. Totally.
So I'm like, what physical competitions would be important for a man to prove he is worthy of this
physical competition?
I mean, is it weightlifting? Is it your ability to run fast?
Like, or how big is his wallet? Does he lift it?
I don't know where that was about to go.
I think you give him a challenge and see how long it takes him to figure it out. And it's not like a physical competition; it's a mental one.
Yeah, it is, because they do.
The luggage is lost.
Yes.
This
how
is
are you going to track it down?
How are you going to track it down?
What are you going to do if your flight gets canceled?
I need a situational play. Or we need situational work. Because by the way, because that's when you find that you don't want to deal with them. Yeah, because Jemele says that her husband, and I don't know if you experienced this is my only hesitation of dating younger men, is that her husband wrestles her every other day. Puts her,
a man
that can be fun.
Depending.
They just play so much. They're always 10. They're always 10. So Cari's entire mentality with them is like they are forever 10 years old, dancing on the couch in underoos and like watching cartoons. Like that is the inside of the mind of a man. Okay. Tell me you did better than that, Governor.
I mean, you sounds like you got a puppy. I got an older dog.
They're loyal.
He's always there.
Yes. That is the key.
He sleeps a lot more. No.
Yeah. Doesn't talk too much. I like it. Okay, great. I love you.
Yeah. Well, just to get slightly serious for a second.
Yeah,
you mentioned
you
mentioned that, this whatever decision you make is like a family decision for 2028. Have you gotten any indications from your family about how they feel about this? Because they've been through this process. And it reminds me how Michelle Obama said, like, listen, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want any parts of the White House. So, like, how has your family, how are they feeling about an impending decision that you might make for running for office?
The nice thing is that my girls are now adults, right? One's in law school, one's working in Chicago. And I always thought I should have given them my last name as part of their names, because when their dad and I got divorced, they have a different last name than me. Right. And then I became governor. I'm like, thank God I did not put Whitmer in their names, so they've got some autonomy. But, the whole family is impacted forever. You look at the Obama daughters and for the rest of their lives, they've now carried this with them no matter what. They're their own people and they've gotten some, privacy, but they're always going to be looked that way and treated that way. And so it carries a much heavier, I think, toll for the whole family. So they're good. They're engaged. They care about what's going on. They know what's going on isn't right. They feel very strongly about that. They want us to, play a role of some sort. It's just what role? What's that look like?
Do you see either one of your daughters going into politics?
Hell no. I mean,
are you discouraging it? Or you just don't see it?
I don't think they would ever be the candidate. I can. They're engaged. They're very engaged. Okay. So, and there's lots of ways for people to impact what's happening, whether they're running, the policy. Like I think of all the work we do. I am one of 100 people in my office, and every one of them is doing the work every day, and they're all making a big difference. So I imagine that they'll be engaged in some form. I just don't know that they'll ever put their name on the ballot.
Okay, because they've seen what you've gone through.
Yeah.
And so, all right.
Yeah.
But Governor, you have such a way with words, a way with people. Just in watching you, I remember we have a group chat, and we often talk about different people that we like and would like to see them in different spaces. You're definitely one of the names that comes up often. I think that it would be hard for you to walk away from this life, much like an athlete has a hard time walking away from this life. There's really little that can replace that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of giving, of service, of being able to help your constituents. So that's why I think my best friend here is pressing on that issue of what else is next for you. Have you been thinking about that deeply, like what that chapter looks like if it isn't a presidential run?
I'm thinking about it. I know I've got 8 months and I don't want to take my eye off the ball, and I can't, for conflicts reasons, I can't make too many plans. I need to, have a little break there afterward. And frankly, I've been doing this for 20 some years, and so I need a little bit of a break. I'm going to walk the earth for a little while.
Touch the grass.
Exactly. But, I do, to your point, the thing I love about this job is I'm with people all day. It's something different every day. It's exciting. It's stressful. It's crazy, but I thrive on that. And so not having enough to do, not feeling like what I'm doing has purpose would be miserable for me. So I've got to, whatever it looks like, I got to be in the work. And so I imagine going into 2028, no matter what I end up personally doing, I'm going to be involved helping. And I think about the next administration is going to have leaders throughout who are going to know how to get shit done, because there's going to be a lot of work to do. You know, we're a year and a half into this administration, and international relations have been decimated. People are struggling in this country. There's going to be just a lot of work to do. And so they need an Avenger-style team.
That's right.
And if I can contribute in some way, that's a possibility too.
Here's what I'm always in awe of with politicians, at least the ones that care, that and you would be in that category. I don't know how you all balance being in a job that is utterly thankless. People are never happy with you. You can never do enough. You never got enough done. So sometimes I wonder how you balance the frustration, because sometimes I know you want to tell these people about themselves. Like, do you know what I had to do to get this little bit done? Right? So how do you deal with the fact that you have signed up to be in something? Why, yes, it's great to be in public service, but people don't always feel the service that you do.
Yeah. People are often surprised, about all the different things that come with the job. Someone asked me the other day, you're in your last year, you're winding down. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
There's no such thing, right?
There was a tornado that hit Southwest Michigan, killed 4 people. The same week, we had a synagogue that was attacked, and torrential flooding. We were worried that some of our dams were going to be breached, people's homes ruined. I mean, and that's just the stuff that's not on the daily agenda that we're trying to get accomplished. And so it's hard. It is hard. And yet there are a lot of people who see what I'm doing and share their gratitude, and I think it's liberating when you realize, and I think it really hit me during the pandemic, no matter what you do, there's going to be critics.
Yeah.
So accept that and just do the next right thing. And I think that's really kind of helped me, do the serenity prayer and say, give me the strength to do the things I can do and not waste energy on the stuff I can't.
Right. Yeah. Well, one thing I've definitely appreciated about you and growing up in Detroit, it was not always this way, is that you have developed a very close relationship with the city of Detroit. And there were previous governors, that was not the case. In fact, a lot of times it felt as if they didn't want Detroit to be part of the state. And so seeing the fact that, we gave you the nickname, Big Gretch, you wear the buffs for us, all of that, when you think about your relationship, with the city and seeing how it has really changed as you've been the leader, what does that mean to you to see that the biggest city in the state is now in a position to thrive?
It's the best. It's the best of the best, I remember going to the Mackinac Policy Conference, Mackinac Island, which is another place you should come.
For the 4th of July?
I'm embarrassed to say I've never been to Mackinac Island.
What? Okay. If you can get there this summer, let me know.
Okay. All right.
Seriously.
Okay.
Seriously.
I've never been. Yeah.
Let's text.
We'll figure it out.
But what the heck was I? Oh, okay. So I was at the Mackinac Policy Conference, and Bill Milliken, who was governor when I was little, was speaking. I was a legislator. So this is maybe 15, 18 years ago. And he was speaking, and he said, as goes Detroit, so goes Michigan, and he was really talking about the importance of Detroit. And Detroit was not what it is today back then. And I remember hearing that and thinking, that's so important. And that's, my dad made his living in the city of Detroit. He was the head of Blue Cross, brought a lot of their operations back downtown before Dan Gilbert started, really making long investments in Detroit. And so I was raised in a family, that really, I think, valued and understood the importance of our biggest city. And getting the nickname Big Gretch in the middle of the pandemic was, I wasn't sure if it was, what to make of it at first, Jemele.
I know most women don't really want big
for their nickname. And Grandma Gretchen said, never let people call you Gretch. So I'm like, Big Gretch, what does this mean? But it was given with love from the city of Detroit, and at a time when I really needed it, when the threats were coming in. It was during the pandemic. I was standing up to the president, and so you may see a reflection of that in the official portrait that we'll unveil at the end of the year. Just a little hint, but we should talk about that because we got a great artist from Detroit who's doing it. And, it'll be fun. So I'll make sure you get that invite too, because that'll be fun.
Okay, that will be fun. If you have a portrait with some buffs on, You'll never buy a drink in Detroit again. Ever. It will never happen. This is a true story. So I think the last time I saw you was an AACP Freedom Fund dinner. We were sitting next to each other and kikiing and everything. When they announced her, so the mayor of Detroit is sitting right by her, the former mayor rather, Mike Dugan, and they announced him. It was like applause. They announced her. Blew the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I can't say I've ever seen that in my lifetime. As a Michigander.
But it's across the board. I was having a conversation with someone, a young friend of ours, who's like maybe late 20s, early 30s. He was like, we love Big Gretch from Detroit. Like, it's literally, we love Big Gretch. Like, it's really a term of endearment. And obviously a part of your legacy and what you've been able to mean to the people in Detroit specifically, as you talk about that being your home and how they feel about you. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful way to leave a state like such as Michigan, because Detroit is so important. I think about the sports teams that we talked about you all have, the Lions, maybe the Shock, we don't know the name, I stay in my lane.
So.
Let's hope so. We'll cross our fingers. The Pistons. I mean, it really is something special. Yeah. I don't know if you know that or if you hear enough compliments, but you should know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome. It is the greatest honor when someone randomly says, hey, it's Big Gretch. I love it. Quick story. I was meeting up with some girlfriends for a girls' weekend out here. I was doing some work, but I was supposed to bring the tequila. Oh. All right. And so I'm between meetings. I had a little bit of time. And so I went into a liquor store and came.
You just roaming up in the liquor store?
Yeah.
Word?
Yeah. And, you get out of the state and you think, okay, no one knows me. This is a big town. Like, no one's going to. And the guy's like, you want a bag? And I'm like, no, save the bag. I'm being good environmental. So I walk out with a big bottle of tequila and supposed Big Gretchen. I was like, I ran to the car and put the bottle and I'm like,
no, that's your street cred went up. They're like, yo.
No. Here I think I'm incognito wandering around LA.
I knew I loved her.
That just adds to the legend. Are you kidding me?
Yes,
if I saw you rolling out of the liquor store, no plastic bag.
I'm like, yo, that's my governor.
She a real one.
Yep. True story.
Well, Big Gretch, I want to thank you for joining us here on Flagrant and Funny. I'm going to hit you up about Mackinac for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're going to root these Pistons on. We're going to get to the finals. You know what I'm saying? I hope to see you at some games.
Beat those Cavaliers.
That's right.
That would be the hope.
Cleveland.
That would be the hope.
Cleveland always talking shit about us.
I'm with y'all until y'all play us. I'm with y'all till y'all play us.
Don't worry.
We
won't see
y'all.
Here we
go. Here we go.
I don't know if y'all going to make it out of this round. We'll see. I know I got to give her some shit. Anyway, thank you, Governor. We appreciate you. Yes. And may this last 8 months be as fruitful as the time that you have already spent. And most importantly, go green.
Go white.
I'm annoyed.
I know.
The show's over.
Yes.
Okay, no. It's been an honor, really. Truly
Thank
nice to meet you.
It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you both.